Which Paldean Starter is the best? In order to find out, I've played through Pokémon Scarlet using only the starters, and a sophisticated point system that I've devised to determine which one is number one. They will gain points for every major Pokémon they defeat, and lose points for every death. It's basically like the House Cup in Hogwarts, except I won't arbitrarily give points to my favorite starter. I give myself the most natural name for this type of run, Fuenquatito, an agglomeration of the Paldean Starters. And this guy looks like a monster, but I've got to represent them all. My mom is tired of looking at this face, who can blame her, so she ships me off to boarding school. The director of this school shows me the 3 starters, and I've got to say, it was love at first sight. We take a nice little stroll to get to know each other, and Clavel asks me which one I want. But I love them all equally, for the most part, so I cannot decide. Nimona asks to get one too, but I take them all. And that's it. These are all the Pokemon I'll use throughout the entire run. For some reason, Nimona is upset that I took all the Pokemon, but she already has a level 5 Fire Croc, so she needs to chill. Wadaduck obviously takes out her single starter. Rival battles will give me points later, not yet. Upon seeing a hurt Pokemon, my first reaction is to shove a sandwich in its face. Normally, I'd say that was the wrong move, but it works this time. There are a few battles before I can get to the school, but since this is all part of the intro, they don't count towards the totals. After finishing school, I use my newfound freedom to play a game of soccer all by myself. I play both the forward and goalie positions at the same time. I could be the next, Messi? I think I know that name. Anyway, while I wait to be recruited by Big Soccer, we need to face Katie. Since I have Fire Croc, I'm expecting a simple fight. The first 2 points are really easy, but the Teddiursa actually outspeeds and does some damage before falling. Even though I won't be showing point totals till the end, it should be obvious who's winning right now. He's the guy who gets to evolve after actually pulling his weight. The other 2 don't deserve this special treatment, but I allow them to evolve anyway. At this point, if I had to declare the winner based solely on looks, it would be Florigato, without a doubt. I guess it's a good thing this is not a beauty contest. And speaking of ugly, let's beat up Cloth. I give this fight to Wadaduck, who uses a couple of Aqua Jets, and makes short work of this guy. I didn't heal, for some reason, so after a single Water Jet in the next round, it's time to bring out the cat. After several hits, technically Shelder is the one who actually takes out the Cloth, but since Flower Cat is here, I give her the full points. Arvind, being an all-around good guy, makes me a sandwich to replace the one that Koraidon already ate, only for him to do it again. This darn guy ruins everything. Fire Croc and I decide to take out our anger on Gracias. Once again, Fire Croc racks up 2 points without breaking a sweat. He even got a crit. Because I don't want him hogging all the points, after an Incinerate, I pivot to Flower Cat on a Rock Tomb to Aerial Ace for the win. Yeah, that's right, I'm not above giving out pity points. After the battle, Hassel corners me, and it's at this point I realize how much of a mouthful my name really is. Fuenquatito. Try to say that 5 times fast. My bird begins the battle against this Titan bird, but Water Pulse does remarkably little, considering there's a Rain Boost and he had Mystic Water. I was hoping for a 2-hit knockout, but 3 does the trick. I start the second round by saving my duck to bring out Fire Croc in the rain. After a Yawn, Thunderfang, and Incinerate, my Croc once again gains some points. He needs to stop dominating everything. In preparation for the Starbase, I get this low kick TM, but I greedily want another. So it's time to massacre some Mankeys and steal their fur, which turned out to be unnecessary since I already had some. Rest in peace, you monkeys you. I complete the first Star Barrage without any deaths, and I'm ready for this battle. It would be a lot easier if someone could learn Bulk Up, but they can't. Fire Croc starts with a Yawn, stalls till the Pawniard falls asleep, and pivots to Wadaduck. He only gets to use a single workup before the chess piece wakes up. That was unfortunate. He does get healed a bit with Shell Bell at least. His single workup is cancelled by the Intimidate, and Low Kick is pretty weak. After 2 hits, I pivot to Flower Cat in the hope that he can win this, though it quickly becomes obvious that he can't, and we get the first death of the run. So that's 3 points down the drain. Sorry Flower Cat, it should have been Wadaduck, not you. Yes, I do have a favorite. All parents do. And if you don't believe me, it's probably not you. A charcoal boosted Incinerate is enough to finish that battle. And once again, Fire Croc steals all the glory. For the rival battle right before Gym 3, I admit here that I forgot which starter Nimona had. Flower Cat uses Hone Claws, then Seed Bombs the Rockruff. Pommy falls in one bomb, but then out comes Crocolore. I thought she had Wattaduck, so I pivot to my duck on an Incinerate, and Aqua Jet is super weak. He falls asleep for a single turn, but wakes up just in time. I guess I'll have to remember which starter she has. Ayano has me on her show, but I'm not a big fan of people looking at me. My face is just too colorful. Here, I decided to start with Firecroc. 2 Incinerates takes out her Wattrel. This baits out Bellybolt's Water Gun as I pivot to Flowercat to start honing some claws. After 3 hones, he uses Rest to clear off the paralysis, and then after a Seed Bomb, there's another Rest, before Bellybolt falls to a Trailblaze. Luxio immediately takes a Seed Bomb to the face, as does the Mismagius. Flowercat is trying to claw his way back to the top after his death. The Firestar raid is rough for Flowercat. Since you can't really choose the order of the Pokemon you send out in these raids, he ends up dying, losing a single point. It's not as bad as a real death. Unsurprisingly, I start with Wattaduck, who rain dances to get rid of the sun. Torkoal actually survives the Water Pledge with a tiny bit of HP, but then falls. The Starmobile Swift is pretty weak, and Wattaduck heals with a Shell Bell after some Aqua Cutters. He does get burnt right as the rain stops, which kinda sucks, but thanks to the healing, he does not lose any points. I have a staring contest with a Worm, who has some pretty bad special defense. A new Fire Pledge takes him right out. I then proceed to waste 35,000 Pokédollars on some Ocean Grass, and Kofu is surprised I didn't spend even more. What a waste of money. Speaking of the water guy, let's see if Flowercat can redeem himself. He starts with a Trailblaze on the Velusa, takes a Pluck, but knocks it out. Wugtrio falls to a Miracle Seed Bomb, and the Crabominable does too. Well, that was simple. At the start of the Poison Star raid, Flowercat immediately dies. Again, great job there. I'm anticipating a pretty tough battle here against Atticus. Flowercat starts with Protect, trying to stall out the Toxic, which doesn't look like it'll work. I'm not ready to give up yet, so I try some substitute stalling as well, but then the Skuntank starts using Sucker Punch, which is not good because I need that move for my Water Duck. So, I have to sacrifice Flowercat. I do feel bad about this actually. With Wattaduck, I get to use Work Up a couple of times as he wastes Sucker Punch. And then, after being poisoned, the second time, he Baton Passes into Firecroc, who is also toxic. Dang it! With that Flame Charge though, he outspeeds the Revroom and heals with a Shell Bell. When the Muck falls to a Flamethrower, Firecroc still gets the Shell Bell healing, but does not take poison damage as the Starmobile comes out. That's a cool little quirk. 2 rounds of Flamethrower and Wicked Torque, and Firecroc is the winner with 7 HP left. So that single turn of no poison damage is the only reason I didn't completely wipe. That was tough. Going into this challenge, I kinda thought Flowercat would win hands down, but he is having some serious problems. Can he make up for it? They all evolve again and learn their awesome unique moves. Again, if I were judging based solely on appearance, because I'm very superficial, I'd probably have to go with either Skeledirge or Meowscarada. I'm sorry, Quaquaval, I'm just not feeling it. He's a bit too much for me. That doesn't stop me from using him in the Larry fight though. All he needs is a single workup to then Aqua Step the Kamala. He uses a Chesto Berry to wake up, by the way. Dunsparce is a heavy boy, but Staraptor is not. Maybe I should have used 2 workups, but it's fine. Wattaduck won regardless. Right away, Nemona pops up to throw her Rock Dog at me. He falls in a single watery step. Wattaduck retreats in place of Flowercat, who immediately pivots to Firecroc on an Arm Thrust. He just so happens to have a Choice Scarf, so he outspeeds this rodent and gets the special attack boost. The Goomy survives just long enough to give me 2 attack boosts. After a special attack lowering Snarl, my Firecroc retreats so that Wattaduck can finish the battle with another step. At the next gym, I am forced to beat up a kid, a cowgirl, and MC Sledge, who is way too excited to be here. This is creepy levels of enthusiasm. With those weirdos out of the way, I am now able to fight Rhyme. I'm not expecting a tough time here because I have a Dark Cat and a Ghost Croc. Firecroc might as well break Mimikyu's disguise with a Flame Charge, and then all of Rhyme's Pokemon fall in a single hit. Midway through the battle, we are treated to an awesome halftime show consisting of the most adorable little Greavard that you ever did see. Oh yeah, and Firecroc plays dirty, stealing the last point away from Flowercat. He shows no mercy here. But yeah, that was super easy. The Great Tusk Titan Pokemon is greatly fat, so a single Grass Knot takes it out. For round 2, I try to give Water Duck a chance to earn some points, but Aqua Step is weak, and he is immediately crit. So, Flower Cat has to come out and do this one too. That cancelled out one of her deaths at least. For this Nemona fight, I decide to lead with Flower Cat. He needs all the points he can get. He takes out the first two Pokemon with Flower Trick and Night Slash, before pivoting to Skeledirge to take out the Pawmot. This time around, I don't leave him in, instead pivoting to an Assault Vest Water Duck who tanks the hit and just Aqua Steps twice. And that was the last Nemona fight for a while, at least. As a reward for how well we're all doing, I allow Water Duck to let loose a bit and do some dancing. And then I throw him into the box for getting too high a level. So my team is down to 2/3 its normal strength. What are we going to do? Win, obviously. I don't need no fighting duck. Flower Cat Night Slashes the Fairy Giraffe, and U-turns the Gardevoir to make Fire Croc take the Dazzling Gleam. He responds with a Flame Charge that did quite a bit less than I wanted, and Torch Songs after a Psychic. With that speed boost, my Croc now outspeeds to take out the last two Pokemon with Shadow Balls. For the Ice Leader Grusha, instead of leading with the obvious choice, I decide to give Water Duck a shot. Frostmoth tries to set up a Tailwind, but two Aqua Steps make that pointless. His next two Pokemon are both fat enough to fall to one low kick each, while the Altaria can't stand a Brick Break. Well, that was a nice way to end the gyms. On to the next Star Raid. Even though two of my guys are weak to Fairy, somehow neither of them die in this raid. And since Fire Croc is the only one who isn't, I naturally lead with my cat. After taking out a Azumarill with a Flower Trick, he U-turns on the Wigglytuff, making me feel a little bit bad about separating those young lovers. Wigglytuff can't hit Fire Croc for some reason, as he gets a speed and special attack boost. The Doxpin is resistant to fire, but not Ghost. He does hit with a Crunch, but I've got a Shell Bell. The best Ortega Starmobile can do is a pretty pathetic Wicked Torque, so Fire Croc wins in just a couple of hits. That was one of the easier star battles this run. For the Dundozo fight, Flower Cat defeats him in round 1 and round 2 using just a couple of Flower Tricks. Tatsugiri takes a Play Rough, but I need to swap to Water Duck on a pretty strong Dragon Pulse. After a Brick Break, Arven's Greedent finishes off the battle. For the last Star Raid, I'm trying to be careful about who I send Flower Cat to face, because they're fighting type, and he still dies at the very end, when I only had two Pokemon left. That sucks. Water Duck uses an itemless Acrobatics to take out the Toxicroak and deal a decent amount to Passimian. I swap to Fire Croc on a close combat, who gets a special attack boost. Lucario comes out next, and is more fodder for Torch Song. Annihilape can't stand a +2 Shadow Ball, and the Starmobile falls to 2 Flamethrowers after a high horsepower. I passed the Elite Four test with 2 of my Pokemon on the brink of death. I need that Overgrow Torrent boost. Unfortunately, at the start of the Rika fight, I found out that someone had the audacity to heal my team. Don't they know to not just pet Flower Cats without permission? Okay, time to change the plan. I mean, the Whiscash is still the same, but things change from there. Flower Cat U-turns on the Camerupt to bring out Water Duck, who avoids a Fire Blast. The Camel falls in one step. The Donphan does use an Earthquake, but still faints. Thanks to those watery steps, Water Duck outspeeds the Dugtrio. He then pivots back to Flower Cat on a Protect to finish off Clodsire with a Flower Trick. In Overgrow range, Flower Cat could maybe have been able to sweep here, but apparently the Pokemon gods didn't want him to win. Now for the Poppy battle, there isn't really anything to say. It goes basically how you would expect. Fire Croc can one-shot basically everyone with Torch Song. He does use Flame Charge to first break the Magnezone Sturdy and get the speed boost. This Magnet sets up Light Screen in retaliation, but it shouldn't matter, not with a +4 special attack. And it doesn't. Flamethrower takes out the Tinkaton. Even though he just swept, I want Fire Croc to do it again. He starts with a Flame Charge this time, as the Tropius admits defeat and gives my fire moves a nice little boost. He's trying to outspeed, but Fire Croc's speed boost ensures that doesn't happen. Staraptor gives him a special attack boost, and the Altaria falls in a Shadow Ball. Oricorio gives another boost that is not necessary, but the Flamigo dies to a Flamethrower. It's amazing how easily Skeledirge can sweep with just Flame Charge and Torch Song. It's almost too easy. Now it's time to give some of the other guys a chance. Water Duck has a Choice Scarf and Ice Spinner to one-shot the Noivern before swapping to Flower Cat on the Dragalge's Thunderbolt. He U-turns, getting poisoned in the process, into Fire Croc on a Sludge Bomb. He has an Assault Vest just in case Earth Power doesn't finish the job. It doesn't, but Dragalge misses, meaning that Fire Croc can stay in and take him out. Haxorus can't stand even a single Shadow Ball. To prevent this from becoming yet another Fire Croc sweep, he gets replaced by Water Duck to once again Ice Spinner the Flapple. For the Baxcalibur, I need to sacrifice somebody, so it might as well be Water Duck since he's right here. His Ice Spinner does enough for Flower Cat to come in and finish off the battle. The Gita fight could easily be another Fire Croc sweep. I've done that in the past, but I have a feeling he's doing pretty well, point-wise, so he doesn't need it. Flower Cat does though. He one-shots the Espathra, and then U-turns onto the Go-Goat to bring out Fire Croc anyway, but he won't be out long. Water Duck immediately replaces him to avoid the Avalug's Earthquake, thanks to an air balloon, and low kicks the Iceberg a couple of times. King Gambit is either much fatter or just less bulky because he falls in one low kick. I pivot back to Flower Cat on Velusa's Psycho Cut, and he takes out Gita's last two Pokemon with Flower Tricks. I only needed Fire Croc a little bit for that fight. Jumping ahead to Clive, Flower Cat one-shots the Oranguru with a Night Slash before U-turning on the Abomasnow. Out comes Water Duck to tank the Blizzard and get frozen. Son of a Yeti. Well, let's swap back to Flower Cat as this snowman hurts himself with a Wood Hammer. I decide to use this Houndoom as a pawn in my grand plan, U-turning back into Water Duck, who gets thawed thanks to the Fire Blast. An Aqua Step gives the duck a bit of healing thanks to Shell Bell. Ice Spinner does very little to Gyarados, while his Earthquake does a lot. So much for my grand plan. Flower Cat returns to Flower Trick the Water Snake, and then Night Slashes the Poltegeist. As our two Flower Cats face off, mine U-turns into Fire Croc. After getting crit with Night Slash, one hit is all he needs, even in the rain. That didn't go quite as planned, but at least nobody died. I always feel bad beating up all of Penny's evolutions because they're so cool. But on the other hand, she doesn't even have the best one, so she deserves to die. In a Pokemon battle, Umbreon falls in two Flower Tricks, bringing out Leafeon. Leafeon almost dies to a crit U-turn, and Fire Croc takes basically nothing from X-Scissor. He does get a nice speed boost though. Not that it matters, since Vaporeon comes out next, and I bring out Water Duck. His attack is lowered, so after a single close combat, Flower Cat returns to do some tricks. Another U-turn for the Flareon, so Fire Croc can Earth Power and heal a bit. Jolteon's Thunder does a lot, and he survives the Earth Power, which I totally did not expect. Okay, I hate to do this, but in order to win this fight, I need to sacrifice Fire Croc. This is his first death actually. He's done really well. And bring out Flower Cat again to take out the Jolteon. Unfortunately, he too is a sacrifice, because Flower Trick does not one-shot Sylveon, who easily takes him out. Alright, you are my last chance, Water Duck. He uses a new move he just learned, and Wave Crashes the heck out of Sylveon. That was the closest to wiping I've been for a while. One hit from Sylveon, and it would have been all over. There was a ton of swapping around there too, making it a pain to edit. Okay, Penny, I don't really care about your backstory. Next, it's Arven. Now you'll notice that Water Duck is level 64, even though the level cap is 63. However, I really doubt that single level played much of a difference, because he blows through Arven's entire team using Close Combat, Ice Spinner, and Acrobatics. Because of Mabostiff's Intimidate, he does call it quits against that dog, U-turning into Fire Croc on the play rough. But I didn't raise no loser, so Water Duck comes back out to finish what he started. And that's the first time that one Pokemon got 6 points all at once. That's an awful lot. It's been a while since I've commented on this ugly mug, so here it is. Water Duck begins the Nemona match with a single workup, and then Expert Belted Aqua Steps the Lycanroc. With that attack and speed boost, he outspeeds to close combat the Pawmot, as well as the Dunsparce and the Orthoworm. For Goodra, he uses Ice Spinner, and then a single Aqua Step for the much less impressive Fire Croc. Up until this point, I would have said that Fire Croc was the clear frontrunner, but after those last two battles, I don't really know anymore. Water Duck is really trying to make this a close one, huh? After all, there's only one last opportunity to earn some points, and that is the battle against AI Sada. Since Flower Cat is probably way too far behind to catch up, I lead with Fire Croc to Flame Charge the Slitherwing. His next move should be obvious. Torch Song, of course. Brute Bonnet only listens to a single song, and then Sandy Shocks feels the power of the earth. The Fluttermane and the Screamtail both fall to a Shadow Ball apiece. He can't actually win against Roaring Moon, so out comes Flower Cat to play rough one last time. And with that, I have officially beaten Pokémon Scarlet using only the 3 Paldean Starters, until the game makes me break the rules at the very end, throwing me into a stupid lizard battle. What the heck is this? To show my disdain for being forced into this, I choose to not terrestrialize Koraidon and just keep pummeling the enemy. It turns out, this battle is literally impossible to lose. Every time Koraidon is hit, he toughs it out so I won't feel sad. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's just jump to the moment we've all been waiting for, the rankings. In last place, I think we all know who it is. Koraidon with 2 whole points. I don't like the fact that they made me use him here, but he technically did defeat a Titan-like Pokemon, so here he is. In third place, or as I like to call it, last, because Koraidon doesn't really count, we have Meowscarada with a grand total of 27 points. It's not surprising he's in last, because he just kept dying. It's like he had a death wish this entire run. In second place with 40 points is Quaquaval. He started off a bit weak to be honest, but really picked it up in the late game. That only leaves Skeledirge with a whopping 54 points. I expected him to win from the onset, so maybe this was just confirmation bias, but I didn't think he would be that much above the rest. In conclusion, I have shown with facts and data that Skeledirge is by far the most useful Paldean starter, at least when it comes to the mainline game, proving once and for all that fire starters are the best. But I've known that all along. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in seeing this same type of run in another region, let me know. Regardless, I'll see you in the next region.